In a world obsessed with recognition, applause, and followers. What happens when you do something great and no one notices? What happens when you stay up late chasing your dream, but the world sleeps? What happens when you choose discipline over dopamine, but no one says well done? The truth is, the world may not clap, but do it anyway. Not everything worth doing comes with applause. In fact, most of the things that make you a strong, capable, and respected man happen in silence. Unseen. Uncelebrated. And that is exactly why they matter. When you get up at 5 a.m. and hit the gym while your friends are sleeping, there's no one clapping. When you skip that party to work on your side hustle, there's no one saying good job. When you walk away from an argument to preserve your peace, not one person is cheering. But hear this, discipline isn't for the crowd. It's for the man in the mirror. Every rep, every word written, every dollar saved, every distraction ignored, adds up. The progress is quiet. The change is invisible until it's undeniable. So keep going, even when it's silent. Especially when it's silent. Because if you only move when people cheer, you'll be frozen when they don't. Today's culture tries to confuse men. You're told to be soft but strong, ambitious but humble, driven but not intimidating. You're told your assertiveness is aggression, that your confidence is arrogance, that your boundaries are toxic. But listen, masculinity is not defined by applause. It's defined by your ability to lead with principle, your willingness to protect what you love, your consistency in the face of chaos, your strength, physical, mental, emotional. You might not get likes for being solid, but real men aren't built on likes. They're built on legacy. Imagine meeting the man you could become 10 years from now. What would he thank you for? For learning skills when it was hard? For sacrificing short-term pleasure? For protecting your energy and your values? For not needing validation from strangers to keep going? Or would he be disappointed that you stopped because no one clapped? The truth is, applause fades. Likes disappear. But who you become stays with you forever. So build it. Don't do it for today's crowd. Do it for tomorrow's you. Sometimes life feels unfair. You put in the work. You get no credit. You show up. You stay loyal. And yet, it feels like no one sees you. But maybe that's the test. Can you show up without being noticed? Can you work without being praised? Can you love without being applauded? Because men of strength don't wait for validation. They lead. They create. They protect. They build. And they do it in silence, if they must. Because they know that greatness isn't always recognized, it's lived. In a culture of algorithms and attention, we often confuse impact with visibility. But here's the truth, your life doesn't need to trend to matter. That quiet phone call to a brother in pain? Vital. That unnoticed hour you spent learning something new? Vital. That simple decision to stay sober? Vital. That one moment you chose not to quit? Vital. Just because the world doesn't see it, doesn't mean it didn't matter. You're not here to impress the world. You're here to build it. Shape it. Leave it better. So do the work, even if it's invisible. One of the strongest things you can do as a man is this: detach from praise and criticism alike. If you crave applause, you'll die in silence. If you fear criticism, you'll never act. But if you can walk forward, head high, regardless of noise, you're untouchable. Build your mind so it can't be manipulated. Build your body so it can't be broken easily. Build your habits so they can't be derailed. Build your mission so it can't be distracted. Let the world watch, or not. You're not here to entertain. You're here to execute. Think of every great man history remembers. They weren't clapped for in the beginning. They were doubted, mocked, ignored. But they kept showing up. Kept building. Kept believing. Eventually, the world noticed. But they didn't start for the claps. And they didn't stop when it was quiet. They just kept going. And that's your cue. Keep going. Not because someone's watching, but because you're becoming someone worth being. You may not know this, but someone out there is watching you. Not in a creepy way, but in an inspired way. They see you show up, even when no one's watching. They see you work, without asking for credit. They see your integrity, your drive, your quiet grind. And they say to themselves, if he can do it, so can I. You may never meet them. You may never hear them clap. But you lit a fire in them. So even if the world is silent, keep burning. Because the warmth of your effort is touching lives you don't even know. Let's be real, it's easy to work when you're praised. It's easy to be strong when you're encouraged. But what defines a man is what he does in the silence. No camera. No compliments. No recognition. Just him, his goal, and the grind. Silence is your proving ground. If you can thrive there, you can thrive anywhere. Brother, if you've made it this far, hear this. You were made for more than likes. More than followers. More than attention. You were made to lead. You were made to build. You were made to love with strength, to fight for what's right, to become someone future generations will thank. Not every hero wears a cape. Some wear silence like armor. So yes, the world may not clap, but do it anyway. For your future. For your family. For your mission. And above all, for the man you're becoming.